welcome to another show of Relentless Reviews. I am your host as always, Joshua Englander, and today I am reviewing the one, the only, the most anticipated movie of the summer for sure, The Dark Knight Rises. So how is Christian Bale as Batman this time around? How is the new villain Tom Hardy as Bane? What about Anne Hathaway as Catwoman, a big wild card there? Did it feel as epic as it should be? And did the action sequences impress me enough? Well, let's check out the trailer.
What are you? I'm Gotham's reckoning. Remember where you parked?
Alright, so one of the things I found really surprising about the film was Anne Hathaway's performance. She was fantastic as Catwoman, and a lot of people had gripes about her being in the film. A lot of people thought her character was unnecessary in Nolan's Batman atmosphere and realm that he put together, but she worked fantastically. I think she was a great character. She was really three-dimensional. You really saw that. And I just felt that overall she was everything Catwoman is supposed to be. She was sexy, she was smart, she was badass when she had to be. I think all those things together, I think she pulled off tremendously. She was great. Every time she was on screen, it was a huge plus for the movie, and I think a lot of people were really surprised about that. I was definitely surprised about that, that's for sure. Also, Tom Hardy as Bane. Now, I loved Bane, and I love Tom Hardy, but I was kind of conflicted about the character. I think his voice was a little bit hard to understand. He definitely was fierce, he definitely was terrifying. Every time he was on screen, you felt his presence, which is a good thing. But I do have a slight problem with his voice still. I think it kind of sounds weird at times, and on top of that, it's still hard to understand him here and there. You kind of got to really focus in to understand some of the things he's saying. That being said, though, he's still a great villain, although I don't think he's the most charismatic villain in the Batman trilogy for Nolan that he's had yet. I think the Joker was definitely way more charismatic, way more interesting. But still, he makes for a good villain, and you can argue that he's actually a better villain for Batman because physically he's superior to him. Joker was more about the mental aspect, and Bane's more about the physical aspect. So, he was a good villain, but I do have gripes about Bane overall, and I kind of think that they didn't develop his character enough. Also, Christian Bale, and this guy continues to completely blow me away as Batman, but this time around, he deals with such pain in the movie, and honestly, I just can't even believe what he goes through. And Bale does an excellent job showcasing Bruce Wayne 8 years later, in my opinion. He shows sort of what he's got to deal with, some of the problems, the negative and positive problems, I guess you can say he has, the absence of Batman, and just when Batman does eventually come back, how does he deal with it, and how does the city of Gotham deal with it? I think Bale does an excellent job, and there's a number of scenes between him and Michael Caine, who's great once again as Alfred, that you're choking back. It's just really well done and just really well made. And in some ways, I wish that Bale was showcased more in the film. He was almost like a supporting character. So, of course, the movie's epic. The movie was going to be epic. I think most people agreed with that. Especially by the end. The second half of this movie just blows, I think, any action film junkie away. It is amazing to watch, and it is the perfect end to this trilogy for Batman fans and for Nolan's franchise. Also, the action scenes, like I said, very well done. A lot of people had problems of the fights between Batman and Bane. Some people thought it kind of looked fake and weird. I thought they did a fantastic job. I thought you could really hear the punches between the two, and it really showcases how much pain both Batman and at one point Bane has to deal with. So definitely, really well done, I think. I really have no problems with the action. That all being said, though, The Dark Knight Rises is not a perfect film. There's a lot going on, and I think at points in the film felt very convoluted to me, and it was really confusing to see what they were doing at times, and I kind of felt muddled and a little bit confused, I guess, simply, and I kind of had a problem with that. I wish that they had focused the plot a little bit more maybe at points in the movie, and that would have made things a lot more clear going forward. And also, there are some plot holes in the movie. I mean, there's no question about that. I think that the plot holes that are there are sort of overcased by the amount of action, the epicness of the movie, but they are there, and it is worth noting because Dark Knight, I think, was much clearer in terms of plot, and there really weren't any plot holes. It was sewn up very quickly. I think The Dark Knight Rises had a bit of a problem with that because there was so much going on in the film, and when you see that, you'll definitely know what I'm talking about. There was definitely a lot of plot holes to mention. Little ones, not big ones, don't get me wrong, but they were there to showcase, and that was something to mention. But that being said, overall, The Dark Knight Rises, the final movie in the Batman franchise that Nolan has created here, is definitely worth the wait. It is the epic conclusion we've all been waiting for. I'm giving it a 9.5 out of 10. And again, there's only a few little things about this movie that I didn't like. Again, it felt convoluted at times. There were a few little plot holes, but the movie is epic. Bane's fantastic. Catwoman's fantastic. Bale is amazing as Batman again, and overall the movie, it chokes you up at points. I love it so much. I definitely can't wait to see what Christopher Nolan has to do next, including next year with the Man of Steel reboot of Superman. So I love Nolan, and this is just another great movie that Nolan has created. So that's another show of Relentless Reviews. I am your host as always, Joshua Englander. Remember to subscribe, and we will see you next time, everybody.